Tuesday night, Eagles Radio Night. Paul Bonzer, Jimmy Tompus with you. All thanks to our good friends at Kirkbrake Seafood. From the ocean to them to you. And Tomp, great chat with Jesse Lonergan. And if you missed that, you can catch up on the podcast. So don't worry about that. Now we have one of the great men of the Woodville West Rhine's Footy Club.
I'm not sure if he's one of the great men. He's okay.
He's okay?
He's okay.
The skipper, Luke Thompson. Luke, welcome to Eagles Radio.
Cheers, boys. Thanks for having me.
Tomo, how are you?
Good, Jimmy. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. How did you pull up from the weekend? We spoke with Jess before in regards to the conditions. How did you pull up? And don't lie to me. I know we've noticed you had only 2 tackles, so you couldn't have been that sore.
No, mate, I don't hide from that. It's a bit easier for us defenders in a game like that. It's not as bad as what the mids would have copped, that's for sure. So, no, I actually pulled up all right, mate. But, I've got that old body that's just hardened for football, I guess.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, that's what I reckon. These young blokes that can't handle it these days, they get a few injuries and stuff. I think the older you get, the longer you stay on the park, the harder you get, I reckon.
Now, speaking of that, are you missing your old partner in crime, Paddy Jafrida's not there this year? Is it, used to be your sparring partner next to you every game? Is that left a bit of a gap?
No, yeah, I do miss Goof. Goof's just a great leader to have around the club, first of all, and a great leader out in the field game day. So definitely miss the impact that he has and miss him around the club, but then miss the extra age that he brings, because now I'm one of the older ones probably there, and I'm not really enjoying that, getting called. I've got Jared Ormond's come back, and I think he's got me for age, so he's getting called fossil at the moment, which is perfect for me, but I've got a few grey hairs coming through, so the boys are onto me. So Goof used to take a bit away from me, so I'm kind of missing that as well.
We spoke to Jess about the South game as well, mate, but we spoke about, myself and Bonds, the importance of that win. To you, how important was that win from, I guess, setting up our season?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was massive. I think, me internally have a bit of a look ahead at the season, and I sort of saw our last 3 weeks with the Crows and Sturt and South wanting to win at least 2 of those, and we ended up doing that. So we put ourselves in a position 6-3. So yeah, the win on the weekend to go into that, we were 1-1 for the last sort of couple. We obviously lost against the Crows, and then beat Sturt out there in the wet, which was a great win for us. And then to back that up and win against South was super important. It puts us 6-3 now, leaves us in touch with the top sort of 3 or the top 5 clubs at the moment. So yeah, it was massive for us, and hopefully we can freshen up after a couple of solid games in the wet and come out in the back half of the season and get some early wins in those first few rounds of the back half.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had Studs, who you played, obviously, alongside in the back line, having his debut. What are your thoughts on his performance, mate?
Yeah, I thought he was really good. I think Sheed said after the game, and I tended to agree, he looked pretty comfortable, pretty, like he played a few games at league footy before. So, yeah, I thought, the game being a little bit slower and a bit more contested and stuff like that probably made him feel a bit better and a bit not easier to come in, but you don't have the speed in the game that, I think that the step up in league football compared to reserves football is all that, the speed of ball and the ball use is pretty sharp. So to come into a bit of a slower game like that was really nice, but he looked really comfortable. He used the ball really well for the wet, and, he looked like not a first game player, that's for sure. So he looked like that sort of 20 game player. So hopefully, he stays in now and gets a good run at it.
Now, Jimmy probably knows the answer to this, but as captain of the club, do you meet regularly with Sheeds and have a focus on anything week to week as you want to direct onto the playing group?
Yeah, we probably do. Probably not even me individually. It's probably more as a leadership group. We'll have catch-ups. We've got a bit of a message group that we fire around, a few messages and the odd phone call as well, and the catch-ups are training. So, yeah, we definitely go into a week, what we want to focus on as a team. And I guess Sheeds just looks at the leaders to try and drive that. So, Sheeds comes up with most of the kind of ideas. We try to take a little bit of load off him as well, but it's probably up to the leadership group and the more senior players at the club to make sure that we're driving the messages that he's bringing and getting all the team to buy in, which, I think we played some okay football at the start. Through the middle, we won a few games, but we probably weren't playing our best footy, and we started to drive our standards a bit more and get a bit more buy-in from younger players and made sure everyone, just loved the place, really. You're at the football club a lot, as Jimmy would know. So, we just wanted more buy-in from a lot of players and make sure that, we're hitting these winter months now. And I think wins in these sort of next few months of winter, the next sort of, what do we got, like next 8 games really in winter, or 7 games. So I think these wins are super important. So to get the energy up with the young group and get everyone buying in at this time of year is what we're really driving.
Mate, you've been captain of the footy club for a little while now, a long while now, and had a couple of different coaches with Godsey and Sammy having 1 year and now Sheeds, and obviously we've experienced a lot of success over the last 2 years and then hopefully leading to your third. What has Sheeds brought to this club that has been different to Godsey?
Yeah, I've always said that the coaches that come in and can build, and Godsey was good at it as well, so maybe not something different, but I've always said the coaches that can come in and get buy-in from the players and build really strong relationships. I know I get sick of myself hearing me say build strong relationships. I say it at work, I say it at the footy club, but it's actually so important. So for a coach to come in and get buy-in from the players and earn that trust, it kind of shows for our first couple of years under Sheeds that he was able to do that really quickly. And hence, we had a good side, but hence the performances we were putting on the park. And, it's no fluke to win 2 flags in a row. Whether you got the crop or not, you have to have the right systems in place. So, game plan stuff and all that. Most coaches are pretty on the game plan and all that. It doesn't differ too much. So I think it's the relationship side of stuff and being a real mentor kind of off the field as well as on the field and showing real care in your players. And it's no different to work situations these days. I think if you really show care to your work colleagues and you get buy-in and make them feel as though what they do makes a difference, then it's the same at the football club, and that's what Sheeds has been able to do and hence the success that we've had.
You seem to be a very level-headed person and you're very straight-faced and got this poker face when you play. Is there anyone you need to pull in line from time to time, like just absolutely yell your head off at them and because they're not doing what the team structure needs?
No, I don't think so. As you said, I'm normally pretty level-headed. I think, I've had some heated arguments and stuff with players in the past, but, I think people know when they're doing the wrong thing, or people know when they've done something that's outside our team, sort of our team dynamic or our team culture and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's been the conversations like that along the way, but nothing that sort of stands out. But, I'm just the same. I'm just a massive relationship builder. As long as everyone's just toeing the line and doing the right thing by the football club and our team, then, we're going to get along pretty well. And our club's been really good at that. And it's nothing that I've brought to the club. It's probably something that, Jimmy and me and Joey Siner and these blokes that have just carried through from the Sicker days and the Mark McKenzie, Luke Powell, the Luke Jarrod days, that we've kind of just carried this same mantra and the same culture through this club. And I think when you come into the Eagles, like you know what to expect. The culture's set. You kind of buy in. If you don't buy in, you find yourself out the door, which we're not really afraid to do as well. But most of the people we get into the club aren't. I think everyone's a good player in the SANFL. You want to get good players to your club, but we're also focused on the person side of stuff. Everyone's a good player at SANFL level, but if you can get really good people into your club that buy in to your culture and just love the place, they hang around and you see these 200-game players or 150-game players to win a couple of flags and they stay around for a while, like the Powleys and the Luke Jarrods and alike.
No, well said, mate. I couldn't agree with you more. On some of the current day players we've got going, I mean, Riley Knight's had an exceptional year. Joey Sinor finally got some of the credit he deserves in making the state team. How have you seen those two players in particular and their seasons, and then anyone else you want to sort of add to the mix?
Yeah, those two have been massive for us. Like, obviously, Joey's a born and bred Eagle. He's come up through the ranks. He probably struggled early days in his career playing a lot of twos footy when you had all the sickers back that were playing midfield and stuff like that. But yeah, Joey's this year has been amazing. He's heart and soul. He loves the place. Talking about that buy-in and people that just want to be here because they love playing for the Eagles jumper. Yeah, Joey's all that, and his performances on the field show that, the desperation and the care that he has for his teammates. So Joey's year's been unbelievable, and Riley to. I've been in the AFL system as you have, Jimmy, and Riley's come back as a junior as well, and just the buy-in, the training that he does during the week, he does everything right. He helps the young boys develop as well, and then he tells young blokes during the week what to do, but then he goes out on the weekend, he does it himself. So his year's been exceptional, and I'd be very surprised if he wasn't winning the best and fairest at the moment for the league. So Yeah, those two have been massive for us this year. Otherwise, we've got the two Menzel boys. Obviously, Troy just came back, but Dan's been pretty big for us this year up forward as well. I think we were a little bit undersized with Redo out for a little while, and we had Connor pinch hitting in the ruck a fair bit, so Dan had to carry the load up forward. And I think his year this year as well, he's really taken that forward role. He's a massive leader there for our football club up forwards. I think his year's been massive as well.
Great, Tomo. Thanks for joining us on Eagles Radio. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. We've got to go to an ad break, but appreciate you joining us tonight, and enjoy your week off, mate, and get back into it next game.
I will, boys. Thanks for having me. Love it.
Luke Thompson, captain of the club there. And we've got to take a break, Jimmy. We're coming back for the Good Life Injury Report, Good Life Health Club's Injury Report. So just one quarter to go here on Eagles Radio, and don't you go anywhere.